Hello, welcome to Spades Radio. Once again, the unrequested, unwanted, the hated Ace of Spades Radio show. And I really doubt anybody's listening, and I also don't care. I don't care. That's the whole point of the show. I do what I want. I say what I want when I want. That's the whole point. This is about living my freedom and talking mad shit, because that's apparently what I'm best at. So I'm just doing what I'm good at. This is the show where I give it to you raw with no Vaseline, no handshake and no kiss. Bend over. I'm going to call out every time. Every time I see a bullshit, you're getting flagged for excessive bullshit. I may not call you out by name. But you will get called out. All right. Now, I'm not ready for call-ins yet, but a couple things to talk about. Then I'll give you the call-in number. Okay, this is the question. What the hell are you all waiting for? What are you waiting for? The evidence is absolutely clear. The government is a criminal enterprise. It's just a criminal enterprise. There's actually no benefit to it. It's a horrible thing. It's a monster that must be killed. And I'm withdrawing my support from Donald Trump. He's a member of this bullshit government. Supporting Donald Trump means supporting the existence of the government. I am no longer supporting the existence of any government. I'm off the reservation. No government. Let's try that. Let's try that for a little while. Government is a failure. It just becomes a system of tyranny. It becomes a close-knit group of criminals who protect each other. And we now know that there's just no solution. There's no solution. You're not going to vote your way out of this. Congress is not going to investigate this one and subpoena that. That's not going to help. Congress is a bunch of scumbag criminals too. Oh, maybe the FBI will investigate themselves. I'm sure they'll find that they've done nothing wrong. You know? But then again, they'll probably come around here and ask me some trick questions so that they could say I lied to the FBI. How about this? I'll give it to them real straight. Suck my dick. That's not a lie. That's what you can do, Mr. FBI. Suck my dick. Fuck you. Get off my porch before I kill you. That's not a lie. It's not a threat either. It's an instruction. They can obey the instruction and get off my porch, and nothing bad will happen. That's not a threat. And I'm trained to fight a gun. When someone draws a gun on me, I'm trained to fight that. Did you learn that at Quantico, you little faggot FBI? I bet you didn't. Matter of fact, what I've seen of the FBI, they all look like faggots. I think that stands for faggot, baby, rapers, in internal sodomy. It's a faggot organization. And I doubt a single, you see these punks, you see their faces on TV? Struck. And then McCabe. And what's the other nerd? Oh, and Comey, Cardinal Comey, the altar boy. These are faggots. They couldn't take a punch in the face. They'd fall right down like a sack of potatoes. You're afraid of these panty waist? I bet they're wearing pink panties under their pants. Human garbage. Trey Gowdy's been shooting his mouth off for years and years. Really? Trey Gowdy's going to save you? Really? All talk, no action. Oh, yeah, and I keep hearing about the white hats are going to save us. The white hats. What, you mean like that pointy hat? That hat, the white hat that comes to a point, you know, and then they wear like a white sheet for a robe. Those guys? No, thank you. I don't need them to save me. Okay? And if you remember them old black and white movies, those cowboy movies, good guys didn't wear a white hat. Okay, that was Tom Mix. Tom Mix wore a white hat. But, what's his name? John Wayne. You wouldn't catch John Wayne in a white hat. You wouldn't catch John Wayne wearing a white hat. Now, in hacking lingo, a black hat is a good guy hacker who hacks programs to find vulnerabilities so that they can be fixed. This is considered to be a positive thing. They hack the program, they find the vulnerabilities, the exploits, as they're called, and then someone writes a patch. And the patch is an update, it's a free update, generally. And you get the patch, and the exploit is fixed. The vulnerability is fixed. That's called a black hat. So what is a white hat exactly? Other than the Ku Klux Klan. So what is a white hat then? If a black hat is the good guy hacker who fixes the problem so your computer doesn't get hacked, what's a white hat? I'd say the white hat is the bad hacker who finds the exploit so he can rip you off and screw you over. Who does that remind? Oh, Charlie India Alpha. Oh, the fucking CIA is going to save us. You bunch of morons. You're not just waiting around to die. You might as well kill yourself. You're so fucking stupid. Talking that shit. White hats, white hats. Please don't breed. Don't breed. The next time you think about talking, it's communion wafer in your mouth. Just stop it. Just stop it. You're waiting around to die. I see my country dying. And a lot of happy horse shit running around. Trump saved America. Look at this. We're going to have 4% growth. Wow, phenomenal. We just had a 10-year recession. 10-year recession. And in several quarters, it was classified as a depression. But with all the communist economists working for Obama in the communist Obamanism, they tried to pretend it wasn't a depression. But the economists all agreed, yeah, actually, 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. Oh, my God. That's a depression, folks. Okay? And it didn't even start in 2008. It started in 2007. 4% growth? Show me. Okay? I don't even believe the 3% growth. And it's not even life support. Okay, you know what 3% growth is? That's a bag of saline solution. Okay? That's an IV drip. That's not penicillin. That's not a defibrillator. And that damn sure ain't surgery. That's not going to save you. 3% growth after, like I said, basically 9 or even 10 years of recession, including several quarters that were classified as depression. We need rip-roaring growth. We need 5%, 6%, 8%, 10%. Yes, removing Obamacare would help. There's a lot of things that can help. From what I've seen so far, and believe me, I didn't read the whole tax bill. Believe me, I'm not going to lie and say I read it. Believe me, Congress didn't read the tax bill. But from what I've seen so far, being reported on it, it doesn't really do shit for us. It doesn't do anything for American people, okay? It might help out some of Trump's rich buddies and the campaign donors and Goldman Sachs. You know, it'll probably help them. I mean, generally, if it's coming out of government, it always helps them. Is it going to help me? I can guarantee you it won't. Guarantee you. Now, employment. Employment's up. Guess what? I'm employed. I didn't get a single hour of work in the last 4 weeks. I'm still on the books. Technically, I have a job. no job, no hours, no paycheck. But you could say, in a way, technically I am employed. So that's the kind of jobs growth we got right here. Okay? That's the kind of economy we have right here. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one with this sad story to tell. Now, I remember I said at one point, oh, this job, forget about it. They're jerking me around. Let me work for Amazon. Amazon, wow, that corporation's doing great, you know. And then I found where the facility was located, and I go, oh, my God, that's a 3-hour drive. And my car is almost 20 years old and needing some maintenance, okay, as well as looks like it's been in several accidents. The job would kill my car, and I'd be very, very lucky. Actually, it would not be likely. It would be almost a magical dream that I would make enough money working for Amazon to get another shitty car before this one dies. I've already been through this story. Working at Yankee Candle. Killed my car. I had to put $2,000 of work into my car to get to this job. And that was only what? It was like a 2-hour commute. That's how long this recession's been going on. Okay? And you go, oh, you're lazy. Get a job. You know? Yeah. You know, I'm that dude. I say, oh, I'll just drive 2 hours for this minimum wage job because I don't want to be a lazy bones and sit around on my ass. Gotta work. Yeah. So $2,000 worth of work in my car to get there, just to commute to this job. I didn't make $2,000 before they shit canned me. You know, and why'd they shit can me? Because my car died one last time. They said, oh, you've now missed actually 2 days of work. That's enough. That's it. You're done. Get out. So the job never even covered the repairs to the damage done to my vehicle going there. Then the news starts coming out how they're treated at Amazon. No toilet breaks. One disgusting toilet for 3,000 employees. You can't sit down when it's slow. You can't talk to workers on the line. They keep an ambulance parked out front. You know, like, oh, don't give them breaks. Just when they pass out, take them away in an ambulance. So, fuck Amazon. I didn't even bother to show up for the interview. This is the kind of jobs we have in America now. So you tell me the job numbers are good, right? Like they're not fiddling with the numbers. BLS, bullshit labor statistics. Like they're not fiddling with the numbers. Oh, no, they did it for 8 years under Obama. They got caught by OPM and that other watchdog. I forget the name of it. OPM, Office of Personnel Management, and there's another one. I forgot. Anyways, the BLS, they got caught. They were lying about the figures. They were actually creating ghost jobs. There were projections. They weren't actually counting jobs. They were just projecting jobs based on population growth. Just made it up. They just made it up. So do you think they suddenly stopped because we have a new president? Do you think President Trump is actually in control of the government? Do you think so? I don't think so. I don't think President Trump is going to complete his 4 years. I don't think Trump's going to make it. I'm not sure if he's going to physically survive. Okay? If you read the news, if you ever watch a TV show, and by the way, most of it will just rot your brain and make you stupid, but you might get some interesting or useful information from time to time. If you see what kind of team, what kind of incredible conspiracy is arrayed against Trump, let's be serious, guys. He might not make it. He might not physically survive. Talking Trump 2020. I'm not sure any of us are going to be around in 2020. There's some kind of laser beam burning California. There's some kind of laser weapon attacking California. This is crazy. We just had, a few months ago, we had the crazy hurricanes. The crazy hurricanes that were incredibly devastating. And let's just pretend we don't know about the weather manipulation. Let's just pretend we don't know about the SBX, sea-based platform, X-band radar. Let's pretend we don't know about that. Let's pretend we don't know about the HARP facility in Gakona, Alaska. Okay, isn't that just amazingly providential that the hurricanes were pushed away from the coast of Florida and just tore up Cuba and Haiti and Puerto Rico? Isn't that just amazing? What luck. What incredible luck. And I just found out PG&E. What's PG&E? Pacific Gas and Electric. That's the one. Yeah, Pacific Gas and Electric. This is from Deborah Tavares. She had obtained some documents, I guess through Freedom of Information Act, that PG&E had plans for, or maybe they had already built it, some type of solar mirror array in space. It's a satellite, okay? And it takes the solar energy and it focuses the beam, like this is still in the satellite, and it focuses the solar energy to like one point, okay? And then it transforms it into microwave energy, which is then beamed down to a ground station to generate electricity. But you know what? That would be a heck of a weapon. That would really be a heck of a weapon, don't you think? I mean, basically a giant floating laser platform, an orbital laser platform, specifically designed to beam down high-energy microwaves to a ground station. Wouldn't that fit the bill for what's going on in California, where the cars are melting, where cars appear to have, like, melted holes in them? How did that happen? I mean, steel panels, and it's like a rounded edge around with scorch marks, you know, and like inside the hole it's obliterated, and then like outside the hole, past the scorch marks, fine. And the melted metal from the cars, weird stuff, don't you think? You know, and maybe some metallurgist needs to go write up a report and talk about the melting point of the various materials involved. Okay? What is the melting point of aluminum, zinc, steel, plastic? What is the melting point of a steel-reinforced concrete house? At what point would that incinerate and evaporate into basically dust? How much temperature would that require? Because you have these things that have burned up, and they all have different melting points. And then you've got a tree right next to it, and it's not even burned. What is that? What is that? So I see the American people are literally waiting around to die. What is your fucking problem? You have a dope needle in your arm? What is your problem? They're going to kill you. They're burning people with lasers. They said the bodies are unidentifiable, that it incinerated the bone. Now, I'm going to give the call-in number in a minute, okay? And I'd love to hear from some people who actually know stuff about this. At what temperature, by the way, anybody worked in a crematorium? At what temperature does human bone incinerate? That's pretty hot, isn't it? Pretty hot, wouldn't you think? They're saying they have to identify bodies by the serial numbers on medical devices, like a pacemaker. Let me think. Okay. So the body is incinerated. The bone is incinerated. It's literally just a heap of ash, and yet the pacemaker might still be intact enough to read a serial number. Does any of this make sense to you? Is anybody here sober enough to form a logical thought. Are you so high on crack? Are you so drunk? Are you so high on dope? Are you so just careless and don't care and don't want to hear it that you're going to just sit there and wait till a fucking laser beam from a satellite burns you to a heap of ash? Or you could be living in Houston and the hurricane comes and goes and it really wasn't that bad. But guess what? Oh, my God. The flood control structures, they were backing up into the high and dry neighborhoods, the wealthier neighborhoods. The flood control structures were backing up into the wealthier neighborhoods. They said, this can't be. We can't have this. So just like Hurricane Katrina, New Orleans, they blew the levees and they flooded the poor neighborhoods. Okay? Your government is killing you. Literally. In real time. The fires are still burning in California. Your government is murdering you. What will it take to get off your ass and do something about it? You're listening to the Ace of Spades Radio, the most hated name in talk radio. The call-in number is 516-387-1414. 516-387-1414. And I'm not just the most hated name in radio, I take pride in it. Because if I'm not pissing you off, then you're probably not feeling anything at all. You're probably not feeling anything at all. You're probably not thinking anything at all. And you're going to die. I don't consent. I don't consent. I'm not going to die. That's why I can't be killed. I refuse to die. And if more of you were like me, there'd be more assholes in the world. But you know what? You might have a chance. Maybe.
Hood Richard.
And I'm just sitting here wondering, what's it going to take to wake you up? Do I need to personally visit each and every one of you and slap you in the face? Because obviously coffee's not doing the trick. Coffee's not doing the trick. And I don't know what it is you're eating or what it is you're smoking. But if I sleep past 5 a.m., I'm dead. I wake up, holy shit, I'm dead. Charlie's in the wire. And you could say it's a mental condition. But let me tell you something. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you. And they are out to get me. I know that. And that's why I don't sleep. Call-in number is 516-387-1414. And I'm just wondering what it'll take to wake you up. All right. While I'm waiting for some callers, I found a solution for people trapped in the communist hell known as Massachusetts, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, where there is apparently no wealth. And apparently there's no rights and no constitution either. So if you guys knew what people have to go through to get a gun in this state, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it's in America at all. At all. But allegedly, Massachusetts is part of the United States of America. But the Second Amendment, it's in the state constitution too. But, you know, they wrote some funky laws, and they're basically, they want to have a gun-free state. You know, so only drug dealers have guns. That's basically how it is over here. So I found a solution for all you good people, who just absolutely refuse to play this stupid game and pay all this money. And then, the police chief of your, the town of your residence gets to make a decision, a determination. You pass the FBI background check, which you paid $200 for, and you paid your application fee, which is another $100 for, which FBI background check is free everywhere else, but we got to pay for it here. And then the police chief gets to decide. It's on, that's one person. They have the absolute power. You don't need a gun. Guess what? I'm not going to play that game, and I'm not going to give you my money. So here's what it is. This is known as Massachusetts General Law C-140, Section 121. And this is in regards to what is called a primitive firearm. The provisions of Sections 122 to 129D, inclusive, and Sections 131, 131A, 131B, and 131E shall not apply to. Now, these are the bullshit laws where they just abolished the Second Amendment. Shall not apply to any firearm, rifle, handgun, or shotgun manufactured in or prior to the year 1899. B, any replica of any firearm, rifle, or shotgun described in Clause A, if such replica is not designed or redesigned for using rimfire or conventional centerfire fixed ammunition, or uses rimfire or conventional centerfire fixed ammunition, which is no longer manufactured in the United States and which is not readily available in the ordinary channels of commercial trade. So, long story short, you don't need a license. You don't need a firearms identification card. You don't need the FID. You don't need a LTC, license to carry. You don't need any of that crap with it's called a black powder rifle or pistol. You can have a black powder. You can have 50 caliber ball loaded in that thing. You ever see the hole that thing makes? 50 caliber ball. I understand. It's one shot, breech loaded, and you got to go through a little bit of a process to reload. Believe me, it's a lot better than the old days. It's not exactly your great-granddaddy's musket. Okay, a lot of good companies are making them these days. Some are very pretty. Some are more sort of retro looking. Some are more modern looking. But it's acceptable. It's acceptable. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a black powder rifle and a black powder pistol, preferably two, because it's only one shot. You know what I mean? So if I got to kill 3 people real quick, I'll be able to do that. I'll be able to do that. Now, of course, included in that law says you can't carry it loaded. Okay, so let's say somebody's trying to stick me up. Oh, gosh, okay, hold on. Let me get the powder, put the ball in there, ramrod, tamp it down. Okay, hands up, freeze. All right, that's not going to work so good. But for home defense, it's doable. It's doable, and we don't need permission, and the police chief doesn't have a say, and we cannot be denied. So Massachusetts residents, there it is. I just solved the problem for you today. We got a caller on the line. 276 area code. Welcome. You're on the air.
What do you say there? Ace Spades Radio Show. Good day to you.
Good day to you, Mr. Steven.
Coffee's up.
Welcome to the Ace of Spades Radio Show, brother.
Good deal. Yeah, quite a crowd we have here. Fascinating. All these young minds out here that are intrigued about where we at this time and stage in our country today, and how it stands and represents the people of the Americans of the United States of America.
Well, what do you think?
I think we in a world of hurting, Ben.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to take anything short of a revolution to make it right.
I agree.
Okay? I'm serious. These people are going to for it all. All right? They're going for it all.
Yep.
And they don't care what gets in the way, be it property, be it life, be it air. Okay? They're going to waste it. They're going to burn it. They're going to flood it. Anything it takes.
Yep.
All right?
That's right.
To get meat.
They dumped the Fukushima. They dumped the Fukushima radiation in the Pacific Ocean and killed off half the marine life. Okay, boom. You're good. You just took away the food supply for, I don't know, 100 million people. Okay?
Yeah.
Now they're burning California with laser beams.
Well, yeah.
Flooded out Houston.
Godzilla needs to rise up out of the ocean and eat them up alive. But it ain't going to happen, okay? But we know for sure what can happen will happen one day if the American people get off the dead butts and grab their daggone pitchforks and their torches and head for the daggone big stone wall in D.C., all right, and make a stand.
That's right.
No, I'm talking about leveling the place. No, there's not going to be a person behind a desk up there, okay?
Bring pickaxes and shovels. Bring pickaxes and shovels. Ladies and gents, we're going to be doing some demolition work.
I mean, if we acquire jackhammers, let's do this, okay?
Yes, sir.
But I'm serious, guys. I am hearing now, Ben, that starting in the next maybe week or two, that they're going to be 20 or more congressmen retiring, absolutely just resigning Congress.
Yeah, I've been hearing that story for years, though, unfortunately.
Oh, but they are that complicit, Jack. I'm telling you what, they can't cover it up because it is out there in the open, okay?
Why not?
Has got it all.
They're the government, and we're not. So they can do what they want.
No, they cannot do what they want. That's where you're wrong, Ben. They are governed by the people of the United States on what they can and will do.
Not till they get a pistol up the nose. I don't think so.
Well, I don't care what it takes.
I think it's really going to require extreme measures here.
Where they get sidetracked. This is a government of the people, by the people, for the people. Where you get sidetracked?
Well, people ain't doing shit.
Well,
people ain't doing shit. That's what's got my goat this morning.
I mean, if you got a GDP of 3.1 and a stock market that's plumb off the board, unemployment plumb under the rug, I mean, where do you look? Where do you look, Ben? I mean, I have to go out here and physically look.
I have to collect beer cans for a living. I mean, there's enough people drinking, and there's enough people drinking beer. I could collect beer cans for a living, maybe buy a pack of smokes every day. Probably, I could do that.
That's been going on for the past 10 years. But you know how many people collect cans?
I'm one of them.
You're going to run into a lot of people out there on the side of the road picking up cans.
Yes, yeah. We have another caller on the line from 904. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Benjamin. It's Zeeda.
Oh, looky here what we have.
We missed you, Zeeda.
How are you? Who's the other caller on the line?
My Wonder Woman. How you doing, Zeeda? This is Steve Barker.
Hey, Steve Barker. How you doing, buddy?
Doing lovely. Doing lovely. Yes,
the crew's all here.
I can't not stand it.
The crew's all here. We might as well start the revolution right now.
We can
do this. This is a doable right now.
Yep.
Well, we're giving them hell, but hell isn't broke out yet.
It ain't no doubt, but we're giving them hell because you stay in jail all the time. I mean, we can't keep you out.
Oh, my God. Isn't that the truth? Facebook loves to ban me. And they banned me this time over image from a year ago of Bannon, the ex-CIA, Brennan, not Bannon, but Brennan.
Yeah, Brennan.
And, I put on there that he's a Muslim convert. That's common knowledge. They hate truth. And all right,
let me just back that up with facts right there. John Guandolo, formerly of the FBI, has gone public with this information. John Brennan converted to Islam when he was stationed in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. He was CIA. This information comes from John Guandolo, formerly of the FBI. So this is not just some YouTube thing.
No, and he swore in on the Quran.
Ahead.
Come on. Shoot, he swore in on the Quran. What more proof do you need? You can't serve two masters. You're either going to serve Allah, which is an occult god, the god of death and destruction, or you're going to serve God Almighty in heaven. But anyway, That's why they banned me this last time. I'm fresh out of jail today. Hallelujah.
Amen.
I don't know how long it will last, but we'll see. But I do have another account, the Z Andrews account. So when I get banned there, then people go over there.
Oh,
but there's not. I only have 500 friends there. But one thing I wanted to talk about while I'm online here, I seen on Fox News last night on Hannity that Chicago, this should be very concerning to everybody in America. Chicago, the mayor, I guess, he's calling on the UN to bring in peacekeepers. He's overriding the federal government and calling in the UN to help them out and bring peacekeepers to police the streets of Chicago because the crime is so out of hand. This will set a precedent for other cities to follow, these sanctuary cities. And it's just a tactic to bring in the UN to get involved in our government. So I hope Trump puts a stop to that, which I feel that he will. I mean, we can't have UN peacekeepers on U.S. soil for any reason. They're robbing the people blind. The Democratic Party, every city that they run, they are looting the taxpayers' money, and they are lining their pockets with it, and they're not doing anything on infrastructure. The cities are going to hell. And this is why they hate the tax cut, because that means they have to cut back on their bloated spending. So they hate this, and it will, kickstart the economy again. But that's something to investigate. People need to get out there and research it. I heard it, and my jaw dropped when I heard it last night.
All right. I'm going to confirm this right now. This is not fake
Zeeda.
news. This is Ace of Spades. This is Ace of Spades. This is not fake news. This is from the Chicago Tribune, okay? Cook County Commissioner Richard Boykin flew to New York on Thursday to discuss what he described as a quiet genocide in Chicago's black community with the United Nations Assistant Secretary General for Peace Building Support, Oscar Fernandez Taranco. This is confirmed.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's like a holy shit moment for Americans to have the UN come in our country and police the streets of America.
Well, my next letter they'll get will be my declaration of war against them.
Yeah, and then they have the Antifa. They have the Antifa soy boys getting ready for if Mueller is removed, and they have Eric Holder making threats that if you remove him, we'll be sorry. So Antifa is getting ready to, riot the streets. And we've seen how that worked out for them before, which was a joke.
Right. Well, it's just a little bit of a rebuttal there. The Cook County Commissioner has exceeded his authority. That he can make the request, but he's exceeded his authority. He cannot, on his own authority, authorize this, and neither can the United Nations come in and say, well, the Cook County Commissioner authorized this. No, that is not within his purview.
No, it's not. It's unconstitutional, and he's acting totally out of his jurisdiction. I mean, who do these people think they are? They're acting like they're the president themselves.
It's a desperate situation. Chicago's popping every night. I mean, I'll tell you what, and this is a little piece of advice for out of work people. Go down to Cook County, work at the morgue. I bet they're working triple shifts. Triple shifts at the morgue.
Here, Ben, what's most disturbing about this is they're giving all the illegal aliens Social Security and IDs, legit driver's license and everything. So they're going ahead of the rule of law and the federal government and legalizing them as citizens. So that means that they can disperse themselves throughout the country with legit documents.
Correct.
So that they can vote in elections, and they can vote in any state that they want to, wherever they're sent to vote, to overthrow the republic.
And Zeeda, I'm sure you didn't miss this, but I'm just going to mention it because you didn't. You know, these folks coming in and getting new IDs and new Social Security numbers, they could give any name they want when they come across that border. They can give any name they want. They could have murder. They could have homicide warrants for them in Mexico or El Salvador. Come back in with a new name, get that American ID. Look, hey, they just changed their identity.
They can become any name they desire. They can hide their total identity and their lineage with any name that's appointed to them, which, you know, it's happened through time and time again with paperclip, like with these Germans coming to our country and giving them Jewish names and any other names they, you know, deem necessary.
Sorry, Stephen, I had to mute you because you're having a little conversation on the side, but you're still here.
No, I just wanted to point out those few factors that will come into play in 2018 elections. And this is why it's important, because we just seen what happened in Alabama. You had other states come in and vote in that election. I don't see how this is even legal. It's not legal, and it needs to be, you know, I'm sure that Roy Moore is putting it out there and other people. I mean, Roy Moore wasn't my first pick. It was Luther Strange, along with the president's pick. But this is a sad day in America.
Roy Moore, I mean, let's be realistic.
State election.
Let's be realistic. Roy Moore was the usurper, okay? And you know, the Breitbart, it's Breitbart. That's the problem. Basically tried to override the president and present this Roy Moore as the better one. He was not the president's pick. He's not the president's friend.
I think he wasn't the president's
pick. And he brought in Roy Moore as the usurper, in my opinion, to lose the seat to a Democrat. So I think Steve Bannon, good riddance from the White House, and I just hope his reign of terror ends soon.
Well, I don't. I love Steve Bannon, and I have done a lot of research on Roy Moore. Now, Roy Moore, to me, was a good candidate, and he was falsely accused. Roy Moore is a constitutionalist and knows the law and knows it so well. That's what they feared coming into Congress, because, listen, there are only a handful of Democrats that even know how to write a bill. They are ignorant when it comes to law. They've been installed in positions that they shouldn't be there. They have no clue of what the law is, what the Constitution is. And he can hold these federal judges, Roy Moore could hold these federal judges accountable because he knows the law. So they did not want that at all. I like Steve Bannon. I like what he's doing. I believe that President Trump knew that there was a stain. Well, he wasn't a good talker. Everybody is wanting a perfect man to give perfect speeches with great swelling words like Obama, instead of looking at their abilities. And that's where Americans are going wrong. Not everybody that's perfect for the job is going to be a great speaker. They're just not. They're intellectual, and they're not speakers. You can't have that all rolled up into one. I personally do not like a great speaker because they are deceivers as a rule, because they have been trained in in using words. So I kind of shy away from that.
Moses had a stutter.
Absolutely.
Greatest leader of all
and Aaron had to speak for him.
I am halt of speech. I'm about to bring Steve back on, but before I do, I just want to mention this to you and maybe get your comment. You know, along with this falsification of identity, illegal border crossers being legalized, you know, do you think there might be some like Muhammad Akbars who swim across the Rio Grande and suddenly become Juan Gonzalez?
They are going to be Mexican nationals.
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of so-called Central American, South American immigrants are more Middle Eastern than anything else.
You can bet you there's other than OTMs coming across the southern border. I've had reports of 300 Somalians come across there at one time.
We are from Cuba.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like you, Zeeda. I'm a passion for people like Judge Roy Moore. You know, we don't judge the people by the contents. We judge them by their character now. Of 2 weeks now, and this is not where it should hinge at. You know, we should go. They know very well what this man has tried to do in the past, as him sitting on the court seats in Alabama, trying to put the Ten Commandments back in the courthouse, and all these good things. You know,
right.
They don't realize this. You know, this man does know the law. He knows how to write law, and like you say, he can take federal judges to hinge on this. You know, this is what we need up there, really.
It would have been an asset to the judiciary for sure. But what I have found in Americans cry that they want religious freedom, but they won't pick anybody that's over religious. And see, I think that was one of Moore's downfalls. Even though he was a devout religious man, nobody wants that because they're hypocrisy. It screams loud because they won't pick the overly righteous man, so to speak, and that was one of his downfalls. And it should have been one of his better qualities, but evidently it wasn't.
Well, you know, Zeeda, you remember what George Carlin said about that? He said you can't be posting the Ten Commandments in the courtroom. That creates a hostile work environment.
Absolutely. Yet they want it, but you.
I mean, what would the government do if they can't steal from the people?
And have that rubbed in your face every day. They don't want to see it. You know, out of sight, out of mind. But we're in a constitutional crisis. We're either going to uphold the rule of law or we're going to be lawless. And this is the whole investigation with Mueller. They have been working overtime and covering up their crimes and Hillary's crimes because they're all implicated in the crime. To the Trump CA, to the uranium one, they're all in. And Adam Schiff as well. Now, this has come out lately that Adam Schiff is one of the leakers in Congress from California.
We already knew that, though. We did,
but now there's a confirmation of it. So he's covering his ass somewhere along the line, and he will probably be exposed for that. He's got to be connected somehow. It's always the one that screams the loudest is the ones that you have to watch because they're trying to cover up their crap like a cat, covering up their
I knew
crap.
that. I knew that back when they came out with the I guess it was Don Jr., the email, and they said, the email was sent on the 4th, and then it turned out it was sent on the 14th. That was a
sure
sting.
Was.
Somebody went and put out the false information to see who's the leaker, and I think they caught him.
It was Adam Schiff.
Well, there you go. Well, you know, we got a good man up there that's on the tracks anyway, and he's not cold trailing that boy. He's hot trailing him now, and that's Devin Nunes.
Yes.
And he's back. He's no longer recused. No longer recused. Devin Nunes is back on the job. He's back on the committee.
That's exactly right.
Who recuses themselves from their job, and we're paying his salary? I mean, it's above anything that I've ever seen.
Zeeda, did he have to make a speech yesterday?
Yes, but still, his speech was not a confirmation.
Okay.
You know, confirming that he will do something. He hollered around, you know, the issue, and he did not make a confirmation of one way or the other of what he was going to do about it. So he is being blackmailed, evidently, by his fruits, by his actions. They evidently have something on him that they are using. And you know what? It's going to come out anyway. And be a man and step up and do what's right for America and the people.
Well, we know for a fact, Zeeda, that IT tech that was there in Washington doing all that work for the senators and congressmen. He was downloading terabytes of information from all the senators and congressmen in real time. Yes, absolutely. This man has the goods on these people, okay? They are being blackmailed. I really do believe that.
And all of that, he stole $15 million of taxpayer money at the same time.
Exactly.
That's right. He was doing it in equipment. He was taking out computers and stuff. He was like, oh yeah, you need to upgrade and this and that the other. And then he was like selling them through the pawn shop or something. I mean, you got to give it to the Packies, man. They always figure out some type of hustle.
Well, they know the hustle.
That's a funny thing.
How to collect money.
Pakistani. I've never seen a broke Pakistani, so I got to give a little bit of respect for that. They know how to make a dollar.
Well, they also file insurance. Listen, they also know how to file insurance claims to make money in America. They use the system against us. And, they're just totally corrupt. They have no respect for this nation, and they want us to submit to their will, and we're not. That's the bottom line. Europe is. All the other European countries are, and look at the hell that they're in. They've created their hell. We're fighting for our sanity here in America.
Oh, yeah. What little bit we have left.
They have to offset the cost of living, Zeeda. I mean, Pakistan's got very little government. They're probably paying almost no taxes. They move here. They're getting taxed up the wazoo. So I guess they figure, well, I guess I got to steal a little to get by. I mean, the Italians did it before them. The Jews had their little crime spree at one time. A lot of immigrants do it. But at some point, you got to just say, hey, this is a La Cosa Nostra situation here, and we're not having it.
Well, we do have some good people at the top fighting for our liberties, our freedom, our republic. And then, of course, we see all the people that's involved in the coup. It's easy to see. I mean, if you have any kind of intelligence, you don't even have to be a genius to see this.
They all have that same look. They got a look about them.
Yeah. It's like,
they do.
The road.
They have a deranged look.
Good Lord.
And these women, I want to talk about the women. I want to talk about these women with these fake sexual harassments. And for all the women in Congress and all the women in media, start dressing appropriately, because they cry these sexual harassment garbage, and they have these spaghetti strap dresses on that's, up to their, their butts and showing all the leg and all their bosom with these bosom buster blouses, and then they don't want. Men are men. I mean, that's the way God created them. They're going to look. And, you entice them that way. Put on a dress suit when you're presenting the news. Look your part. Men have to wear suits and ties in Congress. Well, women, look at the women in Congress. Half of them, they look like housekeepers in their attire. I mean, come on.
Right.
Get professional. Then you don't have to worry about men looking at your bosoms all hanging out and your spaghetti strapped sleeveless arms. And, I mean, put some back into the Congress when it comes to these women with there needs to be a dress code.
Can we all agree on this? No yoga pants at work. I mean, yoga pants, I don't believe that belongs at the workplace.
No, especially not if you're a congresswoman.
Hell, in the factory. I mean, I might mess up and jam up the production line. I mean, that's more than I can handle.
It's ridiculous.
Zeeda,
this is all going to backfire. It's going to backfire on them. All the sexual harassment, because, that pendulum swings both ways, and it's just going to backfire. And it's really doing the women that do have legit cases, it's demonizing
It don't do them no
justice.
Right.
No, it does, because all this fake decrying of sexual harassment is ridiculous. And who are they to set the standard to set this standard, this policy, the most corrupt party in America, the Democratic Party, because it's been proven by their fruits and by the criminality, who are they to set a standard for the rest of the country? It's a joke.
Right. Right.
Well,
What about Nikki Haley? What about Nikki Haley coming out and condemning the president?
Well, she
Nikki
didn't
Haley
condemn
needs
the
to go back
president
to
per
Israel.
se. She just said that the women should be heard. But,
Oh, really?
you know,
Listen, and I'm
Yeah.
listen, I cannot be accused
Zeeda.
of being an anti-Semite or an anti-Zionist.
What's happened?
I cannot be accused of being an anti-Semitic. Hey, Stephen,
You know?
I cannot be accused of being an anti-Semite or an anti-Zionist. Okay, my credentials speak for themselves. But Nikki Haley
Right.
needs to go back to Israel. Okay, we're talking about America first, not Israel first.
That's true. Well, even Trump made that announcement. Listen, I'm not the president of the world, but I am the president of the United States. Okay?
right,
That's where we need to work
right.
at. All right. Exactly. See, the whole thought here has been thrown out the door. The rest of the bathwater was the presumption of innocence for proven guilty. You know?
Yeah. Well, if people understood who America is in prophecy, then they wouldn't be making that statement.
Exactly right.
There's the kingdom of Judah, and there's the kingdom of Israel. And Ephraim and Manasseh, Jacob passed the birthright of national greatness on to Ephraim, which is America. Which America would always be the protector of Judah, the kingdom of Judah, which is Israel today. All right? But
right.
Modern-day Israel is America. People don't know that because they don't get into their history. They don't get into their scriptures. They don't get into Genesis when Jacob passed that birthright.
Right.
And Jacob passed the birthright on to Judah of the scepter, which that would never depart from Judah, which means that they would always be recognized as God's people. But after Solomon died and Rehoboam and Jeroboam, they split.
Right.
The kingdom of Israel was the northern portion of the land, and the kingdom of Judah, which did house Jerusalem. Because God said his promises are never broken, that they would always be identified as God's people. So you have two kingdoms, the kingdom of Judah and the kingdom of Israel. But, you know, when the temple is built, kingdom of Judah and kingdom of Israel becomes one again, as in the days of King David. Now, we are going through this process right now. The true migration of all the Israelites have not migrated back. Judah's there, but the Israelites are not. The lost 10 tribes are not. And we're seeing this with Trump naming Jerusalem as a capital of Israel is just the beginning of the long exiles of Israel coming home. So, you know, this is a period of time.
Well, if people knew about the proposals for the Great Seal of the United States, now this is going way back. This is, you know, right after 1776. There were several proposals for the Great Seal of the United States. Now, the holder of this Great Seal is the Supreme Sovereign. Is the Supreme Sovereign of the United States. It's that powerful.
Right.
It's like the scepter of a king. Now,
that's exactly right.
Benjamin Franklin created a Great Seal depicting the Israelites crossing the river from Egypt and the pharaohs coming after them. Thomas Jefferson did a variation on that, and it had also burning bush and the pharaoh's chariots drowning in the sea and all that. And Thomas Jefferson, who was the second president of the United States, he adopted that as his personal seal.
Right.
So this was from the beginning, from the foundation of this nation. They saw themselves as the Israelites, escaping from oppression and bondage.
From
but
Europe.
Instead we went with the damn Roman eagle.
The UK. Right, that's Ephraim and Manasseh, the promise that Jacob passed on to Ephraim, which is Joseph's two sons. It's in Genesis 48 and 49. You can read it for yourself if you don't believe me. But the Great Seal of America has 12 olive branches, 12 olives. It has 12 arrows, and it has the 13 stars of David that makes up the Star of David over the eagle's head. You can look at the seal itself because Jacob named Joseph to go to the head of the 12 tribes that his brothers would bow down to him, which correlates to his dream. And Ephraim and Manasseh became the 13th tribe of Israel, which is America, and it's in our Great Seal.
Correct.
So go look at it for yourself.
You know, as always, Zeeda has great contributions and also brings some Bible to the conversation, which is welcome with all the evil that's surrounding us.
Well, Ben,
and if we're so lucky, if we're so blessed, then Zeeda might come on back tomorrow if she feels like it.
Yeah, I will. I got a little bit of time. But one thing I wanted to point out is this. Luciferian and the evil has always usurped godly things, and they ritualize it. In other words, they hold it captive like the Great Seal and like the pyramid. The pyramid represents Joseph's time in Egypt when he was the prince of Egypt. You know, that's Jacob's son. Benjamin was the youngest, and then Joseph. Joseph was sold into captivity and became the prince, which is Ephraim and Manasseh, his two sons. Okay, people don't really understand and realize that. That pyramid, they want it to be the all-seeing eye. They want it to be all this Luciferian baloney when it represents Ephraim and Manasseh. The eye above the pyramid represents the eye of God overlooking Israel, because the capstone in Egypt was never completed when the Israelites, when Moses took them out, that capstone was not finished. It was yet to be finished. So that represents that. You know, if you do your research through history and Scripture, you will find all that to be true. People don't understand why we are the greatest nation in the world. That was a birthright promise that was passed to Ephraim from Jacob, and we have fulfilled that. And we are always the protector of Judah, which is Israel of today. Now look at the rainbow. The rainbow is a covenant between man and earth that God would never flood it again. And look how these Luciferians have attached themselves to the rainbow to represent queerdom and transgenderism and lesbian. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, there's a new one now.
That is blasphemy to God, because that represents his throne. So, you know, they have done this through time.
Well, yeah, and what you're describing is a form of lesser magic, is when you take the symbols of something godly, you turn it to something basically satanic. That's a form of lesser magic.
Ritualizing.
But there's a new perversion.
Yes.
There's a new perversion, Zeeda. Have you heard of this? It's called robosexual.
No. Oh,
robosexual.
Oh, the robo.
Yeah, they have sex
you're talking
with
about the machines? Yeah, the machines.
Yeah, they have sex with robots. So they're going to have to add a new initial to the LGBTQXYZ1416, whatever it is.
And to give them human rights. Yeah, and they'll have human rights. I mean, that
if
is
you give the
insanity.
robot a human right, then you can't rape it with impunity. That's no good.
Well, no, they'll be
then you got your robot,
according to Elon
then you got
Musk.
your robot girlfriend saying no to you. I mean, that's no good. Pull the plug.
Then maybe she'll come out with some sexual harassment charges.
Good Lord, take out the battery pack. I'm not having that.
But that's true mental illness, which goes along with Luciferianism. So.
Yep.
But people need to realize the ritualization of the seal, the ritualization of God's covenant, it continues on. But all that's going to be broken. We are going into the time that the destruction of the wicked, God is going to remove the wicked from the righteous.
I agree with you on biblical grounds. However, I do not believe the mechanism of action will be any part of the government. It's going to come from outside the government.
Well, it's going to be both. I mean, you can't say that the government's not going to be a part of it. because that would be unrealistic. It has to be, now there will be Elijah supposed to, in Scripture, supposed to come in the physical, him, the person, not somebody else. It's supposed to be him personally, but that is just to restore the lineage of who is who and what is what, because through centuries, these same Luciferians have confounded the DNA, and they place names upon names that doesn't go with the DNA. So that's why Elijah comes to set the record straight.
Well, I could say something, but I think I'll just keep my mouth shut this time.
Hey, Zeeda?
Yeah?
If you don't mind, closing out the show, will you take us out in prayer, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yep.
I don't mind.
Absolutely.
Ben, you got a problem with
it is the Sabbath. It is the Sabbath.
No, I got no
day,
problem with that.
Good
and
deal.
it's Hanukkah.
And it's
yes.
Hanukkah.
Amen.
Happy Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah to all the Jews. And to all the Jew haters, I hope you just gnash your teeth and hate the heck out of it. Sucks to be you. Jews are still here.
And,
what you going to do
Merry
about
Christmas to all the Christians. And, thank
Amen.
God that,
Absolutely.
President Trump is restoring that. Just think of what could have happened if Hillary won. So this fight is worth the fight with Trump. We are in a battle, but it's worth it. I would hate to think that we're in a battle where Hillary is at the helm of the ship that's going off the cliff.
She's still pulling a lot of levers. She's still apparently has power.
Absolutely.
So, do we go with Psalm 23 or Psalm 91? How bad is it? How bad is it?
Psalms 23, the Lord's Prayer. Yeah, our Father who art in heaven. But see, look at the Pope. He's trying to change it, because he is infallible, He speaks for Christ. That's what he says. That alone right there should scare. Yeah, that should scare anyone.
You got that right.
But if you look at the QAnon posts on the Lord's Prayer, he talked about that weeks before. The Pope coming out with trying to change the Lord's Prayer, which to me is telling you that the main character of the people that's trying to overthrow America is the Pope, which I said it for years and years because of the research and the history that I have studied. Because when you go back and you study about Muhammad, and when he was a youngster, it was the Father Church, which is the Vatican as of today of Rome, went and collected him, and they groomed him into what he was, Muhammad, and they wrote the Quran. Well, these same people that has ruled kings and queens in ancient times didn't want to give up their power. Yeshua, Jesus, was a threat, and most people in Christianity don't understand that they are observing the doctrine of Paul instead of Yeshua, because Yeshua was a Jew and he was an Orthodox Jew. So, they need to revisit the scriptures and understand that the Father Church has always interfered in Christianity. And trust me, Catholicism is not Christianity when you get down to it.
If you put any barrier between the congregation, the people, which is the church, if you put any barrier between the body of Christ and Jesus, that is an imposition. That you're creating an actual physical and spiritual barrier to Christ, and that is not a godly thing. And when they put a man, and they call him the Pope, and they say he's the barrier, go through him. Jesus said, "I am the light and the way." So I don't see how that really jives.
Well, if you look through history, it has always been Catholicism that has burned people at the stake and racked them and tortured them, and Jews and Christians alike to bow down to Catholicism.
Yep.
You can look at what's her name, the Queen and King, when the Jews went through their exile, and they were killing Muslims, Jews, Christians to bow down to Catholicism. They have always done this. By their fruits you shall know them. I mean, they didn't want to give up the land, the tax, the money, the power, and they've never left power. And that is the descendants of Esau. And what people don't understand as well about the Palestinians are the descendants of Esau and Ishmael, because Esau married Ishmael's youngest daughter, or one of them. He had, 5 or 6 daughters, but Esau married one of his daughters, and their hatred brought them together. In other words, my enemy, your enemy is my enemy, and which was Jacob. So they united against Jacob, Esau and Ishmael, which are the Palestinians. Okay, the Jordanians. They're all of the same lineage.
All right, I'll start, and you can put the capstone on the pyramid. The Lord is my shepherd; I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Hey, Zeeda, you want to carry it? You want to put your stamp on it?
My stamp? I've said amen.
Okay, all right. Then I guess we are all blessed. I guess we're all blessed now. When three agree, then the presence of the Lord is among us.
Exactly
Absolutely.
Right. Absolutely right. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure having you here, Zeeda, today. It's not a pleasure, but we've been graced, really, graced by your presence here today. And
thank you.
Appreciate you hosting the show and taking the time out to dedicate your life to cause worthy of you, son. Really, this means speaks volumes on my behalf. And Zeeda, you are the leader. Really, you are. Your words of passion and your words of your words of warriors are intertwined, and they are real as well. And as they say, the land will belong to the end as long as the sun rises and the waters flow. Okay?
Right.
So it shall
be. It's so true. It's so true. And I tell you, I've had my trials and my tribulations, and they never ease up. It wasn't long, I guess, 3-4 months ago, I lost my job with Camping World because
I know.
I don't know if you guys know, but see, Marcus Lemonis, the owner of Camping World, he's an anti-Trumper, and
boy.
it came out that he didn't want Trumpers even buying his product. Well, I guess he started a purge of the anti-Trumper employees, which is me. And I've suffered through that greatly, but I am back to work. I start work at a different company this Tuesday.
Right.
So, but I sell RVs, and that's been very hard on me,
Right, yeah.
And it's just unbelievable that there are people with that much hatred that in the workplace that they can't even work with people that differ from their politics.
Right.
Here in America.
Yeah, we see it.
That's not what America is all about,
Exactly.
But
I agree.
These people have taken it to a whole new level of hatred.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. To where they don't even want your money, they don't want your business, they don't want to be an employee. That's not what America is all about. And if we lose this, kind of freedom here in America, then we're going into darkness.
Oh, well, yeah, we well on our way going there. Zeeda, if you can look, when you got the federal body of investigation and the people therein hold these feelings within themselves and do these extraordinary things against people that we love dearly that's trying to save this country and do what's right. And they're absolutely in there trying to sabotage the works.
Well, and I had a manager, they knew that I had a radio show, and they said, well, you can't, they told me what I couldn't do, and I said, oh, hell no, you can't tell me what to do in my private time. I mean, who do you think you are? I am very vocal, I'm very opinionated, and my sister told me, she goes, you should have kept your mouth shut. You know what I mean? But I could not help myself. I had to voice my opinion because, see, that's the same as submitting to evil.
It is.
And you got to rebuke evil. And I lost my job, and it was very hard for me financially. And, my God, but, you have to, I believe in my Creator. I believe in God. And sometimes going through the fire refines us. Your hardships refine who you are and fine-tune you. Make you a better person, or you just totally give up. It's either or.
Right.
So
absolutely.
I will be back to work, but anybody that wants to help me, I will take donations. I have it on Z Talk Radio if anybody wants to help me out.
That's right.
I went through I went through a terrible time because I just could not believe. And I also told him this, the owner. We had it back and forth in emails, and I have all the emails. But anyway, for 2 years, I worked at this store in Fayetteville, and the air conditioner would freeze up every summer, and it would get hot.
Yeah.
Now, this is a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and they couldn't even change the air conditioners out. That's how cheap they are. And I told him about that, and he did not like it. I said, you make all this money, and you can't even change the air conditioners for your customers and your employees that work there, that work in these temperatures that's over 100 degrees. And then, you're selling people over $100,000 units, and they're paying for this. It's just unbelievable to me.
It's bad business. Psychologically speaking, okay, when you sell them that RV, you're telling them you got 12,000 BTU or whatever air conditioner in the unit, and they're sitting there sweating in the office. They're like, can I really trust this guy? They can't even air condition the office. I wonder what kind of hunk of junk they're trying to sell me.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have the salesperson there writing them up, and they're slinging sweat everywhere. It just doesn't look good. It's not a good presentation. And it's a reflection. Everything speaks. A piece of paper on the floor that's trash speaks. Do you know what I'm saying? That nobody that's walking by is picking it up. Everything speaks. So that spoke to me what a cheap, that he was out for the money, and he cared nothing about the process, about the people. And I told him about it. So I created a big enemy there, because when you tell them the truth, you become instantly their enemy. So
that's what Jesus said too. That's exactly what Jesus said. And he also said, you're going to go through it. I went through it. You're going to go through it. But understand, all these things that I've done, you will do greater things than these. And I give you the power to tread on serpents and scorpions.
Well, that's true. But you got to rebuke it. That idea. Hey, and there's always a penalty for it. But I would do it again. But I know that God has my back.
Absolutely.
Give them the website.
Get what we want when we want it, but God always comes through for you.
Mm-hmm.
Give them the website, Zeeda, so they can make donations today.
Well, the website is Z Talk Radio, ZEE talkradio.com. And that donation button is right there on the top. left-hand side of the sidebar. Every little bit helps. I would appreciate it. But, I'll be back to work Tuesday. And, it'll take me a month or two to get really back on my feet. But it's okay. I've got through it. I've survived it. It's been rough, but, you come out a better person. I'm stronger because of it. And I will continue to speak the truth. And then Facebook continues to block me for 30 days at a time, not just a few days. It's always a 30-day penalty for, nothing.
Yep. Go ahead and donate. All 5 of my listeners, go ahead to Z-Talk right now and donate something. I'm gonna scrape the old penny jar and see what I can come up with and try and fling some coins your way.
Well, let me point out one good thing with this net neutrality, the Internet, that President Trump nullified is a wonderful thing, because now he can actually go after the people that are censoring on the Internet, which he couldn't before because of net neutrality. Now that that's removed, he can actually do something about Facebook and Twitter and any other social media that violates your First Amendment. Now, you do sign up with them that they can block you, but they can't censor you because of your politics.
Right. True.
Oh, Zeeda, are you active on Twitter? Do you want to give out your Twitter, or keeping that private?
Well, my Twitter, no, it's not private. It's just PNN Talk. It's at PNN Talk Radio. We still have PNN. Now, I haven't had Spreaker because I couldn't afford Spreaker. So I haven't been able to do my shows because you have to pay your yearly, which is $250. I haven't had that kind of money. I've been in survival mode. But as soon as I get back on my feet, I will, be back. Patriot News Network will be back up and running, and Z-Talk Radio will be back up and running. So, but just haven't had the money. Survival comes first, and living, rent, and electricity, and those things. So I've always funded that myself and never asked for it, And I don't do I don't monetize because I don't like to sign up for that, because they can control your site. So I do it advertisement free.
Correct.
But that's
why I just
about
stay with Blog Talk.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Zeeda. I hope you're willing to come on again tomorrow. We have to work out a time.
Sure.
And,
just let me know, and thanks for having me.
Well, I just threw it together spur of the moment, Zeeda. Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, buddy. Anytime. It's hard to do a show like we were doing it. What we were doing 3 days a week. It's hard to do that and work 10 hours a day, which usually I do 10 hours a day, 6 days a week in the RV business. But I was doing it there for a year hard.
There's Volunteers for America. There was enough people who cared, who didn't want to see their country destroyed, and they were willing to make a sacrifice and put themselves out there. And we're not destroyed. I mean, it's not fixed. It's not fixed. We're still hurting, but we're not destroyed, and we came perilously close. So thanks God for that.
Well, I don't miss.
And I want to thank you, Stephen, as well. And I want to thank you as well, Stephen. And I'm going to close out with a song called Swamp Thing by the Chameleons.
All righty.
This one's dedicated.
Well, listen.
This one's dedicated to Robert Mueller and the FBI and old Rod Rosenstein.
Awesome. All right, good luck, y'all. God bless America. God bless Israel. God bless everybody. A Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.